All right, there we go. Welcome back to the PagerDuty booth. I hope you're enjoying reInvent. I am Mandi Walls. I'm a developer advocate here at PagerDuty. And I'm going to take you through a top 10 list today because this year we published 150 improvements to the PagerDuty platform. Some of them were very obvious. We've made a big splash with them. Some of them, interesting things under the hood. Some of them, people have been asking us for a while. So if you aren't part of the PagerDuty community at community.pagerduty.com, you can join us there. If you have questions about the product or suggestions for things you'd like to see, that's where some of this stuff came from. So we are always interested in what you are interested in seeing from PagerDuty. But the truth is, 150 is a lot. And the reason things kind of got behind this dam was we had to do a lot of infrastructure work. So you may have seen some of our stories about moving to Kubernetes over the past couple of years. We've done some improvements to our front-end libraries and a bunch of other infrastructure improvements that have allowed us to then tackle some of these things that have been kind of sitting in our backlog for a while that we couldn't really tackle because we had some tech debt like everybody else does. So PagerDuty is 16 years old. We've had some stuff that's been sitting around for a while, and now it's time to make it happen. So just for giggles, this is the whole list, right? It's not meant to be read. It's just meant to be stared at and be like, oh my gosh, what is all of that? Because it is just a whole lot of things in different kinds of components. So we've made improvements in performance and accessibility and in other bug fixes and other things that we've been tackling. So let's talk about some of the big things that are here. Now, this is my personal top 10 list based on things that customers ask me a lot when I'm in the field. And your top 10 list might be completely different. And some of these you can actually ask our demo folks to show you after the talk. So up first, reopening resolved incidents. We get this one surprisingly a lot. Folks have cyclical problems. They have things that they think are fixed, but then another customer pops up and says, you know what, this is still bugging me. This still isn't working for us. So we added the ability to reopen incidents. And you'll be able to do that over a long life cycle so that if you have things that are maybe seasonal or weekly or something like that, and you're not sure, you can reopen things and continue to add on to that incident for continuity. And we find that folks who use ITSM programs and things like that kind of already have this sort of practice. They have sort of long-running tickets or long-running incidents. So we've brought that capability on them. Incident attachments. This is one we get asked about a lot, right? People want to actually post attachments to their incidents. And part of the issue here is that we have to have some place to store it. So we had to put something together for actually storing these kinds of attachments for your incidents. So if you have additional documentation or you have JPEGs or screen captures or any of these other kinds of assets, you can actually post them to the incident itself. And one of the things that is that we should think about too, we do get asked if you can email those. We have some folks that are still using email integrations to PagerDuty. So you can actually just email an alert to PagerDuty, it becomes an incident. There we are still discarding those. So if that was something that was maybe on your wish list, we won't be getting there. That seems like a recipe for a DDoS. But if you do have incidents that are live and running, you can attach things via the live incident itself. Session management. This one definitely comes up for our bigger customers. What do we actually do with all the keys that we provide? How do we log folks out of all their sessions? Especially if you have sessions on mobile and you have sessions on your web browser and you have all these folks that are logged in. So we have added a lot of capabilities to our session management. So you now have customizable TTLs for web and mobile. You can set different timeouts. So if you do have security and compliance requirements for these kinds of things, you can now do that. Because basically our mobile login is kind of indefinite up to this point, and folks were like, we kind of don't like that. So this has been significantly changed. So you can also set idle timeouts and absolute timeouts to get a better handle on what folks are doing and how they're interacting with the platform. We are also working in our token space. So we now have token revocation for OAuth tokens. That is new for support for our OAuth components. And the admins and account owners will be able to revoke user tokens. So this is now a new capability that you'll find in those accounts, so you can revoke those OAuth tokens. There's a lot more work coming on the OAuth token side. So if you are using the PagerDuty API right now with regular API keys, keep an eye out. That stuff will be migrating. There'll be new capabilities there coming up in the next year or so. But all that was background work for things that are coming. Scribe Agent. Has anybody looked at Scribe Agent yet? So we started using this with our major incident program over the summer. It helps us get transcription of our call. So not sure how anybody does their major incidents the way we coordinate. So I'm an incident commander. We have chat channel in our Slack, and then we have a Zoom call that has no chat. So our Scribe agent attaches to the Zoom call and pushes transcription live into the Slack channel. So we have a human scribe who's also there kind of just collecting who comes and who joins and who drops and that kind of thing. And then Scribe agent is giving us that live transcription. So nice activity there for that agent. It makes it much easier to collect for your post-incident review. The transcription is right there. You don't have to go chasing it around. Who's got the Zoom login? Where does that stuff exist? Scribe agent has it for you right there. Big one for Slack users. We do get this question a lot. How do I, if I don't have a login on PagerDuty, create an incident from Slack? So this has now been added. You can actually link up a set of API keys from your Slack at sort of a generic level, and it will allow you to push regular users in your Slack, will create incidents in your PagerDuty instance without having to have a PagerDuty license. So check out the documentation for that one. WhatsApp. Who uses WhatsApp? Yeah, a few folks. I feel like every time I turn on my WhatsApp, it's full of spam, but then like I have to use it for class, so like now people are complaining about their homework and stuff on it as well. But like lots of folks want us to integrate with WhatsApp. So that has now launched, and you can use WhatsApp on top of SMS, phone calls, application pushes, Slack notification. Wherever your responders like to be notified, they can get notified, and that now includes WhatsApp. So if that was on your list, that is now there for you. Required fields on Resolve. This was another one for our folks in heavily compliant organizations. You need to know what happened during the incident that got it fixed. This also helps our AI ops and other agents gain more information to help you later. What did we do to fix the thing the last time? And you open up the notes and it just says, we fixed it. That's not helpful. Put some data in there, so it actually helps you out. So this is now can be configured to be a required field, so that when you go to resolve an incident, they no longer can click out of that, and you can just turn this on in your account. It's not on by default. Shift agent. Who goes on vacation? Yeah, you go on vacation. My goodness, what the heck? So one of the things that's hardest about being on call and wanting to go on vacation is like, oh, what if I'm scheduled to be on call? Somebody has to pick up my shift. So Shift Agent is now here to help us with this. And we've been using this internally for several months to help us out. If I set my calendar to be out of office, then Shift Agent says, hey, you have an on-call rotation while you've now marked your out of office. And do you want to have Shift Agent help you find a replacement? And it looks at the rotation and says, okay, well, these two folks haven't been on call close to you. They aren't marked out of office, so let's ask them for you. And it will go out and send Slack messages to check out if those folks are available to take your on-call shift while you're on holiday. So it makes things much easier, makes the flow much nicer for covering shifts when you like to be out of the office. We've also got some improvements to MS Teams. MS Teams users, you just don't like to admit it. I know you use MS Teams. So you use MS Teams, you know it's maybe not architected the same way Slack is, so it's a little bit behind what we're able to do with it. But we are continuing to work with them about how all that stuff works. So you now can have dedicated incident chats. That catches us up a little bit more with Slack. We have Existing channels can be linked to new chats. We've got some quick actions for triggering incident workflows, and the team's experience will have some updates that continue to be made for channel mapping and permissions and things like that. We are continuing to work on the MS Teams integrations. I know when you look at the features side by side with Slack, it looks like it's behind, and it kind of is. It's a harder platform for us to integrate with, but we are absolutely still working to keep on top of it. Now, number one is one that we've been asked for and people have been complaining about since like 2 jobs ago when I was a PagerDuty customer. And that is flexible schedules. And we were hoping to announce it tomorrow, but it is coming. I think it'll go into, now it's scheduled for early access next week. But it's a complete rewrite of our scheduling process. So it's new objects, the API will change. If you're using Terraform, that provider will change. There'll be lots of documentation to help you through all of this. There will be programs for migration and all that kind of stuff, because it is completely changing how we manage schedules in order to give you more flexibility for how you create schedules. Because I know some of you create crazy schedules. We get asked, like, well, this guy wants to be on call from like Tuesday at 4 to Wednesday at 3, and then we have this other thing that then there's nobody on call for this time, and like all this other weird stuff comes through. Like, some folks do some crazy, crazy stuff, and we're hoping to enable you better with the new flexible schedules. So this does represent a major migration. It will be a lot of documentation, a lot of news about this as you'll see it, but it will be hopefully very helpful for folks who need just a little bit more flexibility around the things that they want to do with their on-call teams. You'll have better support for round robin or pick who's available and those kinds of support as well. So there's a lot of stuff that will be in this, and we're hoping to see it in the next couple of weeks. So there's so much more. That was only a tip of the iceberg of the 150 things that we've done. So if you'd like to learn more, if you'd like to see more, our guys have demos available to show you what else is available. We'd love to chat with you this afternoon about what you would like to see in PagerDuty and anything else. So stick around, grab a demo, and sign up for some of the stuff that's in early access. So thanks for stopping by.